The Denver Nuggets do it again. They come back down 3-1 again and beat, this time, the vaunted LA Clippers. And now they are headed to the Western Conference Finals to take on the LA Lakers. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA. And as you can tell, I am hyped up, folks, because I just got done watching that Game 7 between the Clippers and the Nuggets. And folks, talk about an epic collapse. I mean, my goodness, okay? The Denver Nuggets, after they come back down 3-1 versus the Utah Jazz, do the improbable again and come back down 3-1 versus the Clippers. And they send the Clippers, the Kawhi Leonard-led, Paul George-led Clippers, home. Just send them packing. All right, so we got a lot to talk about here, folks. I got a lot to get to. Before I do, if you're new to the channel, guys, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. I'm bringing you the latest and greatest with the NBA 2, the NBA playoffs. I'm going to be covering all the way through the NBA Finals and up until, even after that. So, again, you're going to want to subscribe for the best NBA content. And you're going to want to follow me, guys, on my social media. Links down below and on the screen, as always, okay? So, listen. Oh, I'm about to unleash right now on the Clippers. I am about to go off. Let's get into it. So let's start by just getting the Nuggets out of the way because, again, here's the thing. The Nuggets, man, you guys deserve it. I need to give you guys your props, your credit for doing what nobody expected the Nuggets to do. And shout out to Nikola Jokic. He had a monster stat. What did he put up? 16 points, 22 rebounds, 13 assists. Just literally dive dropping, throwing passes behind his back, behind his head. He was just clowning out there. The Clippers couldn't do anything about it. And shout out to Jamal Murray, who has turned into an absolute star in these playoffs. Had 40 points today. They couldn't stop him, the Clippers. They had to double team this man, and he's just becoming an absolute monster. So shout out to the Nuggets, man. Got to give them their credit. They are an absolute beast of a team. And if I was the Lakers, and if I'm up 3-1 on the Nuggets, I would be very, very scared. Okay, I'd be very, very scared. Because apparently this team, they just don't lose when they're down 3-1, right? That's how they do it. So they just love coming back down 3-1. All right. So again, I'll talk about the Lakers and the Nuggets, previewing a matchup in a different video. But this time, we got to talk about the Clippers and that epic collapse. Okay, this was the team, and I'll start by myself first and foremost, that everybody picked to beat the Nuggets. Okay, this was the team. And not just the Nuggets, whoever was in the second round. This was a team that people were waiting for the Western Conference Finals between the Lakers and Clippers, and that was the team people were picking to go to the finals. And not just the finals, the team that people were picking to win the title. Not me, by the way. I picked the Lakers. You guys should know this. If you don't, go ahead and check out my predictions. But I've always been adamant. I said the Lakers are going to win the title. But the people that kept saying, oh, Faiz, it's going to be the Clippers. The Clippers are deep. The Clippers have Kawhi Leonard. The Clippers have Paul George. The Clippers have Doc Rivers. And you know what? All of those things worked against them. Because when push came to shove, and it was time for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and Doc Rivers to put up or shut up, boy, did they shut up. Kawhi Leonard, what did he have? 14 points, 6 for 22. 6 for 22 for Kawhi Leonard. Paul George, 10 points, 4 for 16. Actually, let's just put Paul George aside, Mr. Pandemic P, if you will, because obviously he's not playoff P. Paul George is a Robin. Paul George is a Robin, right? We don't consider Paul George a top 10 player. I certainly don't. We don't consider him a top 5 or any of that, right? He's a Robin. We've slandered PG enough. Let's talk about Kawhi Leonard. All right, Kawhi Leonard gets mentioned as arguably the best player in the world. And I'm tired of it. I really am, folks, because here's the thing with Kawhi Leonard. If that was LeBron James out there putting up that performance, LeBron James would never hear the end of it, and he would get slandered until God knows how long. But apparently Kawhi Leonard does it, and people just brush it off. And this is a guy who is a top 5 player, okay? He absolutely is. But the gap between LeBron James and everybody else is so large that I'm telling you, I don't want to hear about it anymore. It's LeBron James and it's everybody else, okay? And that includes Kawhi, that includes Giannis, that includes KD, that includes anybody else. LeBron James is still the best player in the world. Now, you might be saying, Faiz, how can you say that when, he's lost so many times in the finals? Listen, Okay, we're not comparing him to MJ right now. We're just talking about the best player in the NBA right now. And when I take those losses, I'm also taking into account the fact that, again, when LeBron James has been on the worser team, like against the Warriors, right, if you will. So point being is, again, listen, that's another discussion. We'll brush that aside. Point being is, LeBron James is still the best player in the world. And if he puts up that type of performance, he never hears the end of it. So it's time we slander Kawhi Leonard like he deserves to after that pathetic, pitiful, just embarrassing performance that he put up. 14 points. And Paul George, the Clippers, literally mortgaged their future for this man, sent like 5 draft picks to get him so that Kawhi Leonard would be happy. And this is the type of performance you get. This is the type of performance. I mean, this is just pathetic, folks. This is just outright pathetic. I mean, to not even get to the Western Conference Finals, like, really? Really? And so even as a fan, I wanted to see the Clippers and the Lakers. So, again, I was absolutely picking the Lakers to win that matchup. But just to see would have been fun. But now the Nuggets are going to be the team because they deserve it. The Nuggets deserve it. The Clippers couldn't even beat the damn Nuggets. So Kawhi Leonard is going to get slandered, and I love it. And let me talk about Patrick Beverley real quick. Mr. 123 Cancun. That is what he was saying in Damian Lillard's DMs when, not DMs, his Instagram comments when Damian Lillard had that like beef between Paul George and Patrick Beverley. Well, go check out Patrick Beverley's comments now, because everything is going to say Cancun on 3, because they're going home to the Clippers are, okay? Patrick Beverley should have fun. Kawhi Leonard can load manage all he wants. On vacation, Patrick Beverley, have a great time, okay? Again, folks, listen, I say all this, obviously kidding aside, because of the disappointment. Honestly, I don't like the double standard when it comes to the treatment that LeBron James gets versus these other so-called best players in the world, right? If you are considered the best player in the world, and Kawhi Leonard got to that level after last year, which, again, they would have never won if KD never gets hurt, by the way, the Warriors. Just saying, Kawhi Leonard got to that level last year. I never believed it. Kevin Durant's gotten to that level. Again, he had a super team. Giannis Antetokounmpo has won 2 MVPs. Now he's going to win this year's MVP, and he's been considered that level. I never believed it. So point being is, it doesn't work, the way you want it to. When you play well, yes, you will get compared, but then when you do not show up, you will get slandered. And right now, nobody looks better than LeBron James, whose team did his job and got them to the Western Conference Finals and was just obviously chilling and waiting to see who he was going to face between the Nuggets and the Clippers, folks. The fact that it was a 3-1 collapse, folks, that's the part where I'm just like, man, wow. That's the part where I'm just like, I can't believe it. I really can't believe it, but so be it, all right? But Kawhi Leonard deserves all the slander, so go ahead and do so, and so does Paul George. Again, we're talking about the performances and the Clippers in general. They got what they deserve. They didn't show up. Pathetic performance by them. So there you have it, folks. My thoughts on the Clippers collapse, epic collapse, versus the Nuggets. Shout out to the Nuggets, man. You guys really proved a lot of people wrong, including myself. Really, really happy for the Denver Nuggets. Great feel-good story for the NBA. And for all those people that say the NBA is rigged right and they always set up these matchups and force Game 7s, yeah, ratings-wise, Clippers and Lakers would have been the matchup, not the Nuggets-Lakers. And that's what happened. Should show you what is actually true. So there you have, folks. Again, if you agree or disagree, let me know down below. All right, react in the comments. I'll be replying as much as I can. But as always, thanks for watching.